Gotta move in the spirit. 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 Gotta move in the spirit.
Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Right? Deuteronomy 10. What I want you to understand is that, as I mentioned before, just knowing that you're an Israelite, that's just the first step. So now you have to take that next step, right? And let's see what that next step is.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now Israel.
Read it one more time.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now Israel.
And now who?
And now Israel.
And now Israel. What's your name? What's your name, brother?
Friendly.
Friendly?
Yes, sir.
That's your
That's the Hebrew name.
that's the Hebrew name.
Yeah. In Creole, my name is Fun the Sleep.
Okay.
I hit the Google Translate one day. I played around.
Okay, so I'll call you Friendly, all right? Brother Friendly.
In Hebrew, because you're saying Israelite.
Yeah.
Friendly.
Friendly.
I'm
Okay.
Friendly.
Okay,
I should
Friendly.
introduce myself to all of you.
Nice to meet you, Friendly.
Mr. Friendly. I don't know your
So,
name. Mr. Friendly.
brother.
Praises to you.
all right, Friendly. My name is Mazam. My name is Mazamwar. Nice to meet you.
Man, peace be with y'all.
Yes, but let me read this for you, right? So now read it from the top one more time.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now Israel.
And now Israel. So now what I want you to understand is when you see the name Israel in the Bible, you got to think of yourself, because the Most High God is talking to you. So when you say Israel, you should see, oh, it's talking about Friendly. It's talking about me, right? Because we're the chosen people of the Most High God. God made 18 nations, but He chose us, the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. He chose us as the chosen people of the Most High God, right? So read on.
What doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right. So now it's saying, what does God require of you, right? Because just knowing that you're an Israelite from the tribe of Levi, that's just the first step. There's more steps that you have to take, right? There's requirements that you have, right? You have a purpose. You have a purpose in this life, right? Read on.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
To fear the Lord thy God. Would you say that you fear God? How are we supposed to? What is the way that we are supposed to fear God? The commandments, right? Keeping the commandments, right? Because when it talks about fear, we're not supposed to be thinking like, oh, I'm scared, and no. But it's talking about you giving reverence, you're giving respect to the Most High God, right? By doing that is by you keeping His commandments, doing what He tells us to do, right? So read on.
To walk in all His ways.
Yeah, what happened? What's up?
To choose mercy and pardon others.
To choose mercy. I like that. I like that.
Those
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Choose mercy and pardon or forgive others. I don't like the word forgive like that, but pardon others.
No, of course. I agree with that, because Christ said, "Blessed is the merciful." Blessed is the merciful, right?
We're made from a merciful Creator, so
Right.
we should be merciful.
Exactly. But when it comes to the merciful Creator, we got to understand we can't take His mercy for granted.
No. We were just made in that image.
Right. Of course. But we can't take that mercy for granted, right? Because we'll see all the scriptures that talk about His mercy endures forever, and we'll try to use that as like a pass for sin, right? Like, I'm gonna do this because I know that God has some mercy and He's gonna forgive me, right? But there's something about that, right? Give me Hebrews 10 and 26. Give me Hebrews 10 and 26, right? Because we can't take His mercy for granted, because the same God that has the mercy is the same God that flooded the whole earth. The same God that killed all those Egyptians, the firstborn, right? That's the same God that the scriptures talk about His mercy endures forever. So we got to understand that He's a merciful God, but He's also a terrible God, right?
Not terrible. It's just,
Well, the Bible says he's a terrible power.
let me say this out loud. Like I told you, I was studying Levi and Leviticus the other day. Shit, basically the generation that went into the desert didn't come out of the desert. Because mostly they didn't pray before they do anything. And that was one of the key I saw repeatedly. Like, if they just had prayed before they did anything, it would be cool. But
No, I feel you. Let me read you this real quick, right? Hebrews 10.
The book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
For if we sin willfully.
If we sin willfully. Now, before I continue this, do you know what sin is according to the Bible? How would you define sin?
like I said, when you don't choose mercy and you don't pardon others. And then on top of that, the Ten Commandments, and keeping the day of rest.
Okay.
But most importantly, though, not choosing mercy and not forgiving somebody.
Gotcha. So let's see what the Bible says, right? Because I could say what sin is, you could say what sin is, but at the end of the day, the Bible trumps what we say. So our what we say has to align with what the Bible says, right? So give me 1 John 3. Hold that. Give me 1 John 3 and 4. Right?
Like, peace unto y'all, like, peace unto y'all.
Likewise, man. Likewise, right? All praises to the Most High. Right? So read that.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
Read it out.
Whosoever committed sin,
So it says, whosoever committed sin, read on.
transgresseth also the law.
Right. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. Read on.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So when you sin is when you break the law. So you breaking the commandment, that's when you enter into sin. Right? So go back to Hebrews. Now that we got the context of what sin is, right? So when you break God's commandments, you have entered into sin. Right? So read that.
It's the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
Right, so if we receive the knowledge of the truth, we understand that, hey, I'm not supposed to be doing this, I'm not supposed to be doing that. But even knowing that I'm not supposed to be doing that, I choose to do it regardless, right? Read on.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So the Most High God, he can take you out because you choose not to follow his ways. So if we take that mercy that the Most High God has for granted, there's an expiration to that, right? Just like a great, we say he's graceful, right? So we got to think of it like a grace period, right? So let's say if you have a payment that's due, and you have that grace period, that doesn't mean you don't have to make that payment. You just have some time to get yourself right, and then you have to make that payment. That's Most High God works the same way. So we have to do what's right, and he gives us the chance to do what's right. But we have to have it in our minds to do what's right, and doing what's right is keeping the commandments of the Most High God.
That's right.
Right. So go back to Deuteronomy. I want to go back to Deuteronomy 10 because I want to finish that out. Of course, no problem. So we're going back to the requirements, right? What is required of Brother Friendly from the tribe of Levi, right? Mighty tribe of Levi, right? All right, read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read it out.
And now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God.
Right, but to fear the Lord thy God. Okay, so let's find out how we fear God. Give me Give me Sirach 2 and 15, right? Oh, actually, no. Deuteronomy 6. I like that better. Deuteronomy 6. Yeah, no, of course, no problem. No problem. All praise. Yeah, Deuteronomy 6. Let's find out how we fear the Most High God. You can start from the top. Go to the top. Yeah, I think it starts up. Yeah.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Lord your God commanded teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye shall go and possess it.
Right. So when we talk about the Bible, it talks about a perpetual thing, right? Keeping the commandments of God. Right? Going through all 10? I mean, you don't have to go through all 10. I mean, but in Exodus 20, it lists out, all 10.
Also Deuteronomy.
Right, and in Deuteronomy 5, I believe. Right, but read on.
Verse 2. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God.
That thou what?
That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God.
That we might fear the Lord thy God. Now let's see how we fear him. Read on.
To keep all his statutes and his commandments.
What?
To keep all his statutes and his commandments.
Keep all his statutes and his commandments. That is how we show God, the Most High God, fear. It's by keeping his commandments, right? So go back to Deuteronomy 10, right? So now that we got the understanding of fear, you're going to notice in Deuteronomy 10 and 12, as we keep reading, that everything, it connects to one thing, right? So go back to that, right?
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Get out.
And now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God,
Right.
to walk in all his ways, and to love him.
And to what?
And to love him.
Now, Brother Friendly, would you say that you love God? You would say that you love God, right? Okay. According to I guess in your, how would you define how you show God you love him? How do you show God you love him?
So there's not sin, right?
Okay.
But you can go the extra mile and try to live holy. Living holy has nothing to do with your salvation. That's something like fasting, culture. These things have nothing to do with your salvation.
Hey, Chris is at war.
Okay.
Hey, Chris is at lead.
You can show that you want the heart of the Almighty.
Okay. Okay. No, that's a good answer. But let's see. You know, as mentioned, let's see what the Bible says according to how we show God love, right? Because wouldn't you say that love is an action?
Yeah,
Right.
Living holy.
Living holy. Okay. And let's see how we live holy, right? Read that.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
For this is the love of God.
Right. So this is the love of God. It's about to get into how we show God that we love Him, right? Read on.
That we keep His commandments.
You do what?
That we keep His commandments.
Keeping God's commandments is how we show God that we love Him. Just the same way how fearing the Lord is by keeping His commandments, right? Right? So that's how we show God that we love Him, is keeping His commandments. The same way how we fear the Lord, that God is keeping His commandments, right? So the Bible, you know, it all goes back to one thing, is by keeping God's commandments. That's how we reverence God. That's how we show God that we love Him. That's how we show God that we fear Him, is by keeping His commandments, right? So go back to Deuteronomy 10. We're going to finish that out.
To walk in all His ways and to love Him and to serve the Most High thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul. To keep the commandments of
What?
To keep the commandments.
To keep the commandments. To sum it all up is by keeping His commandments. Just like how we read how we fear Him and how we love Him is by keeping His commandments, right? So that's the way that we show God that we love Him. That's how we respect God. And that's our requirement, right? As mentioned in the first part, that is our requirement as Israelites, right? According to the Bible. Is by following God, keeping His commandments, doing what He told us to do, right?
Stay strong, I'm a warrior. 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 Stay strong, I'm a warrior.